In 1325, two armies marched into one of medieval Europe's deadliest battles. Thousands of men died in the mud, fighting for supreme regional control. But the conflict's most famous trophy wasn't gold, land, or a crown. It was an ordinary, water-stained wooden bucket. This is the incredible true story of the War of the Bucket. In 14th-century northern Italy, peace was virtually non-existent. Neighboring city-states were trapped in endless political bloodshed. On one side stood the powerful city of Bologna. They were staunch loyalists to the Catholic Pope. Just 20 miles away sat the rival city of Modena. Modena sided firmly with the Holy Roman Emperor. This religious and political division split neighborhoods and families apart. Border clashes were frequent, bloody, and full of mutual hatred. For years, both cities looked for any excuse to utterly humiliate the other. Then came one quiet, fateful night in late 1325. A daring raid of Modenese soldiers slipped quietly past Bologna's city guards. They didn't target the city armory or the governor's palace. Instead, they targeted a public well near the city center. The raiders unhooked a sturdy oak bucket, filled it with loot, and fled. To the Modenese, it was a hilarious late-night tavern prank. To the people of Bologna, it was a slap in the face. The civic pride of Bologna was deeply wounded by the stolen bucket. City leaders immediately dispatched official envoys demanding its immediate return. Modena laughed at the diplomats and refused to surrender the bucket. Insulted beyond measure, Bologna decided that blood was the only answer. Bologna mobilized one of the largest military forces northern Italy had ever seen. Over 30,000 infantrymen grabbed their spears and wooden shields. They were joined by 2,000 heavily armored noble knights on horseback. Against this massive army, Modena could only gather about 7,000 men. Outnumbered more than 4-1, Modena prepared for complete annihilation. In November 1325, the armies clashed at the Battle of Zappolino. As the sun began to set, 32,000 men charged into battle. Dust clouded the sky as steel swords clashed against iron armor. Realizing their total numerical disadvantage, Modena tried an outrageous gamble. Their cavalry launched a ferocious, concentrated charge straight into Bologna's flank. The sudden force of the strike shattered Bologna's front lines completely. Panic quickly rippled through the massive, crowded Bolognese ranks. In the gathering darkness, soldiers began trampling each other to escape. What was supposed to be a crushing Bolognese victory turned into a rout. In just 2 hours of brutal fighting, over 2,000 men lay dead. Modena had pulled off one of history's most shocking military upsets. But the humiliated Bolognese army wasn't safe yet. Modenese forces chased the survivors all the way back to Bologna's city walls. Instead of launching an expensive siege, Modena decided to taunt them. They set up camp outside the city gates for 3 days. Modenese soldiers staged mock athletic games right outside the city walls. Just before marching home, they stole a second wooden bucket from outside the gates. When peace was finally declared, land was exchanged and treaties were signed. But Modena refused one specific term, returning the wooden bucket. They kept it as the ultimate symbol of their bitter rivals' defeat. Unbelievably, that medieval wooden bucket still exists today. It remains safely preserved inside the bell tower of Modena's cathedral. A reminder of how human pride can turn a simple wooden bucket into one of the strangest and bloodiest conflicts in history. If you love forgotten historical stories like this, hit the subscribe button. Which absurd historical event should we cover next? Let us know in the comments.